Hey guys, it's Sarah Johnson with the admissions office at Tipping University. I know a lot of you are trying to figure out how to maybe occupy some of your time during your spring break and during your time out of school. And I want to share some things with you about the application process that I think will help you, especially if you're planning on going away to college for this fall. I have some points in here, and this is going to be part of a vlog series. We're going to bring in some other faculty and maybe some staff on campus that are going to share some pointers and tips for you during this time when you're at home. Fortunately, our admissions office works a lot online. We operate on an online basis anyhow, so there are some things that I want to kind of bring to your attention, maybe some things that you can work on, and this may be suitable for other campuses as well, but I want to kind of share with you some of the things that our office here at Tipping University can do if you're submitting your applications, or maybe you have some questions about submitting some additional things that you maybe have already applied and you have some additional things to submit, like your FAFSA and stuff. So we'll get started. We're going to start right from the beginning, completing your application. Our application is online. It's free. We're also members of the Common Application, so if you've already completed a Common Application, you can select to have it sent to Tipping University, and we can review it the same way that we're reviewing our online applications that we get here on campus. So once you submit your application, now this is the Tipping University application, not the Common App. It takes about 20 minutes, and that application becomes live for my staff and I to take a look at it. We can make what we call a conditional acceptance decision based off of your self-reported cumulative unweighted high school grade point average to this point, as well as your self-reported ACT or SAT composite score. We can go ahead and make, like I said, a conditional decision based off of that, but we will need a copy of your transcripts from your high school, as well as your SAT or ACT scores if they're not on your transcripts or on your Common Application, to confirm not only your acceptance but any academic scholarship that you may be receiving from Tippin. Depending on what your English and reading subscores are, we may require an admissions essay. You can submit an admissions essay to your Tipping University application if you want to go ahead and just kind of cross through that loop to make sure that we can review your essay and that we're not delaying a decision on your application because we don't have your essay yet, because you scored below a certain score on your ACT or SAT. We will also take an essay off of the Common App too. So if you uploaded an essay there, we'll take that and we'll review that. We do read the essays, so I know that a lot of institutions may not require an essay. I read every essay that comes across my desk. So my admissions staff, and they do a great job reviewing everything and getting applications prepared for my review. Once it crosses my desk, I do read those essays. I really like a lot of the things that you talk about, whether it be with your personal life, or maybe it's your experiences with athletics or Tippin arts, or a passion that you have, or maybe there's a stance that you take on an issue. Maybe it's a current event that you want to write about. I really enjoy reading those. So if you're nervous about submitting an essay, don't be. The more personality I get in an essay, the more I get to know you in that way. You know, I'm not able to talk to every student who applies to Tipping University, but it does give me an idea of who you are. So the more personality you can give me in your essay, the more credibility it gives to your application. Decisions are made on applications. If we have documents submitted, it usually takes 1 to 2 weeks for you to receive a decision on your application. It can take a shorter amount of time if you did submit all of your documents and were able to access that application like during the regular working hours. But if you submit it over the weekend, it's going to take a little bit longer, because I don't have my staff and I, we're not logging in all the time over the weekend to read applications and to evaluate those. So anytime during the week, Monday through Friday, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., we're reviewing those applications. So if you get some time, maybe spend about 15 or 20 minutes completing your application and uploading those documents, an additional 20 minutes for it to reach our hands, then we can start that evaluation process. if you have questions about your application, maybe you haven't heard anything in a day or two from my staff, so if you are assigned an admissions counselor at the point that you apply, it's based off of the degree and major program that you choose, makes the decision on who your admissions counselor is going to be. Just give our office a call. As of now, we're here still on campus. Our direct line is 419-448-3423. Honestly, the easiest way is to email your admissions counselor directly, and it will tell you who your admissions counselor is on your application status page. Or you can email us at admiss, that's ADMISS, @tiffin.edu. We'll make sure that we get back with you about your application that way. Kind of the next point that I want to bring up, and I don't want to go into great detail about this because I don't want it to turn into a complete financial aid video, but at the point that you're accepted to Tiffin University, you'll, as I mentioned before, qualify for an academic scholarship, but we won't be able to put together a financial aid award for you unless we have your 2020-2021 free application for federal student aid. That's the FAFSA. So you can go to, let me make sure I have the website right before I give it to you, studentaid.gov to submit your FAFSA. You and your parent or guardian are going to have to create a login for that. Now, if you have a parent or guardian who has sent maybe an older sibling to college, or maybe they've gone to college and used federal aid at that point, they can use that same login, but you'll need to create a login for yourself. It'll ask you to create a PIN number, and that's how you're going to access your FAFSA or your federal profile, your federal student aid profile, until you change it. So that's where you're going to keep track of all your student loans if you choose to take them. You're going to need to keep that PIN number somewhere where you're going to remember it, or make it a number that you're going to remember, because you're going to need it many times. You're going to need the tax documents if you're enrolling for the fall of 2020, from 2018 from your parents or your guardian. If you worked in 2018, they're gonna need your W-2 information and all that stuff too. They have really handy tools on their website and on the mobile app. That it's called the data retrieval tool. It will pull back that tax report that you filed back in 2019 for the 2018 year, for you to be able to use, so that you don't maybe need all of those paper documents. You could just use the data retrieval tool. It makes it very simple. It actually speeds up the process in evaluating your FAFSA, and sometimes it could speed the process of it actually getting to campus. So once you submit your FAFSA, it usually takes about 7 business days for our Office of Financial Aid to receive it. And then at that point, as long as you're accepted to TU and there's no errors on your FAFSA, for the fall 2020 semester, as long as you're accepted for the fall, there are no errors on your FAFSA, you'll receive a financial aid award within 2 weeks electronically. So at that point, they'll take a look, see if you qualify for the federal Pell Grants, see if you qualify for any state aid if you're an Ohio student, see what maybe additional need-based aid that you may qualify for. They'll have information about your academic scholarship on there. If you receive any additional offers from maybe a sport here on campus or Tiffin Arts, we have club teams that offer sports as well. Any of those additional scholarship dollars, as long as you've signed that contract, that'll show up on your financial aid award as well. So we do those electronically too. The Office of Financial Aid will be here, just like the Office of Admissions will be here. They also send out awards by letter. I'm just not sure at what point, depending on where you live, when you'll receive that. But like I said, it's usually within 2 weeks that you will get an official award letter from Tiffin University. It talks about our cost to attend to you, and then any remaining balance that you may have at that point. The ACT or SAT testing, I understand that there are some challenges with that, as I don't believe that they're going to host, for example, the March SAT, the national test date. If they decide to cancel that, or if they've already canceled it, maybe I haven't heard that yet, we're going to take the highest composite score that you receive. So if you decide that you want to take that test and it's open in May, for example, the ACT in June, or the SAT again in July, we're going to still roll through the admissions process. As long as we receive those scores by August, we'll be able to review your application still, and still figure out what kind of academic scholarship you qualify for if you're accepted to TU. So don't panic. we're going to take that highest test score. Maybe you don't meet the admissions requirement right now, but we can also present your application in front of the admissions committee if your score is close enough. So I suggest that you go ahead and apply, submit all of your documents. If you don't initially meet the admissions requirements, send me an essay explaining why you would like to attend TU. Some of you may have already applied, and if it says that you're missing an admissions essay on your application, usually what I'm looking for is why you would like to attend Tiffin University, how do you feel it'll help you achieve your career goals, maybe the road to how you discovered TU. Maybe you have an alumni or a parent that attended TU that has inspired you to submit your application. Or maybe there's some life challenges that you just want to kind of present to the admissions committee. I've had students who have missed quite a bit of school due to an illness or due to an injury for athletics. And they really take that into consideration when they're making admissions decisions. So if that's something that you want to discuss with me or my staff, or if you want to just go ahead and throw it into your essay and submit that, you can do it online, or you can email it directly, either to my email, which is johnsonsat, just like the test score, at tiffin.edu, or you can send it to admiss@tiffin.edu, and we'll make sure that it's uploaded and paired with your application. If you submit those documents and we don't have an application for you yet, we will hold them, but sometimes, depending on the timing of when you apply, if you wait a long time to submit your application and you've already submitted documents, it could take some time to pair those up. Especially if you have like a hyphenated name. Sometimes the test score or your transcripts don't have the same name that you've written on your essay, so it's best to just go ahead and apply and upload those documents right away so that we know it's paired with your application and we can review it right away. It really doesn't take that much time. Next steps, if you've already applied, you've been accepted to TU, after you submitted your FAFSA, you reviewed your financial aid award, my staff is very well versed in having those conversations about additional aid, or if you have questions about your balance and what expenses will you incur while you're here. They can go over all of that with you. We're very well trained in that. If a situation or a conversation gets to a point that we can't answer those questions, we'll either get those questions for you answered from the Office of Financial Aid, or we're going to connect you with a financial aid counselor that can walk you through that. It might be best that way. Just so that we can get all your questions answered. So once you've reviewed everything, the fit is there, you decided that this is the institution that you would like to enroll in for the fall of 2020 and graduate from, you're going to want to submit your $100 confirmation deposit. That's also online. You can do that on your status page. We'll keep sending you links to that form throughout the admissions process. Once you're accepted, you click that link, you put in your information, it comes right to our system, and we mark you as a confirmed student for the fall 2020. Once you pay the confirmation deposit, it gives you access to our housing system so that you can go in and put your housing preferences in. It's best to do that as soon as possible, especially if there's a certain kind of accommodation that you're looking for. I have students that want to live with a roommate. I have students that want to live by themselves. Honestly, it just depends on when you submit your housing preferences. It also affords you the ability to attend a FIRE, which is our first year interaction and registration experience. We don't actually start those this year until May. So right now we're planning to have those still on campus. We want to make sure that you and your family have a good experience while you're here. You'll get those financial aid one-on-one conversations, and then access to presentations about campus resources. We'll split you and your parents up for just a short amount of time so that you can meet your first year advisor, and your parents can attend other sessions that maybe they have some additional questions about, some campus resources and things. And we'll make sure you're fed for the day too. So I come from a big family, so food is very important to me, and I know that I don't absorb as much information if I'm hungry. So we'll make sure that you're fed for the day. You can cut that out if you want, Ben, I don't care. But we still intend to run these FIRE sessions. The first one is around mid-May. We'll have 2 in May, 2 in June, 1 in July, and 1 in August. So we want you to come back to campus and take a look at, see where your classes are going to be, get your class schedule, finalize any financial plans, and then prepare you for the fall. So again, we're going to be here anytime between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Feel free to give us a call or send us an email, or direct message us on our Facebook page. It's Dragon Nation. If you're not a member of that page, you can request to be a member of that page and we can get you added in there. We do post regular updates, introduce lots of staff and faculty and coaches and things on campus, but just stay tuned and we'll make sure that we take care of you.